Good morning, Steeler Nation. So we got a little bit of news. We potentially have Kenny Pickett moving up in the depth chart. We have Omar Khan coming out on Pat Mcafee Show talking about the potential trading of a quarterback in our quarterback room. And Devin Bush puts another foot in his mouth. We get into all that and all that news and much more today on the Huddle. Please hit that like and subscribe button. You don't want to miss any of our daily segments and our weekly live. I have a weekly live scheduled for this Saturday to kind of preview the game that's going to go on between Steelers and Jacksonville Jaguars this Saturday evening. Don't want to miss it, so please hit that notification button. Ring that notification bell so you get notified of all that content, that like and subscribe button. With that being said, guys, I'm Daniel J. This is State of the Steelers, and welcome to the Huddle. Devin Bush. Wow. You know, just when you think that there's not much more he can say or do that can potentially put him, further behind, he goes and does it again. So just a little backstory on Devin Bush. He was the top 10 draft pick of a few years ago, where the Pittsburgh Steelers moved up to get him to replace Ryan Shazier, a linebacker that had a Hall of Fame trajectory had it not been for a severe back injury. And, Devin Bush in his first year, he played fairly well. He was an alternate in the Pro Bowl. And in the second year, he was lights out. He was on a trajectory of being a good football player. I'm not sure he was on the same trajectory as a Ryan Shazier, but, he was on an upward traveling trajectory. Gets the knee injury, and he hasn't been the same. Now, I reported and I showed a video, film breakdown a couple of days ago. Please go back and watch that. Breaking down what Bush has done in that game as far as one play in particular where he just kind of missed the block completely. And in my opinion, looked like he's not playing 100% out there, not 100% healthy, but 100% there. I think he's 100% healthy when it comes to the knee. What I meant was like the heart. It's like not 100% there. He just allowed the guy to run. He jogged behind him. I questioned his heart earlier when the comments came out about him saying that regardless of anything, that he's still a top 10 pick. Now, some more comments have surfaced yesterday. Pittsburgh Steelers were, having a press conference or holding, with players after practice or before practice. And some of the media guys got a hold of Devin Bush. And when he was asked, is this his last year with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Do you feel like this is a prove-it year, yada, yada, yada? His response was, and I'll paraphrase something in the sense of it's just business or it's business. I'm still going to be in the NFL, so we'll see. Kind of to me, that comment there is like, I don't care if the Pittsburgh Steelers want me or not. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about, in the last video, where, in my opinion, Devin Bush isn't buying what the Pittsburgh Steelers are selling, isn't buying what Coach Tomlin is selling. Now, you'll go and listen to other podcasts and, you can hear other press conferences with other players, and you can hear who's buying in to what Tomlin is selling. When you start hearing players and press conferences start using Tomlinisms, such as the nameless gray faces, it's a 5-star matchup because we in it, the standard is a standard, things of that nature. You'll hear Minkah Fitzpatrick on a certain podcast talk about how he has funny conversations with Coach Tomlin, and Coach Tomlin will talk about the same and use the same term of funny conversations and attribute those conversations with conversations and call them funny because those are similar conversations that Coach T had with Troy Polamalu, a Hall of Fame safety. And so basically all they're trying to say there is that Minkah Fitzpatrick and Troy Polamalu are very similar in certain things of their game. Now, the fact that they both describe those conversations as funny tells me that Minkah buys into everything that Tomlin is telling him, and he's not just buying it in, he's reselling it, so to speak. You'll hear Juju Smith-Schuster, who no longer with the team, But when he was with the team, was a true like diehard Steeler. He was a diehard Steeler. He was a Steeler. In fact, he came back after already being with another team to you know to do some kind of charity event for the city of Pittsburgh, even though he's a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. So kudos to him. He's always going to be a Steeler in my book, and I always wish him the best unless he's playing against the Steelers. Now, he himself was, he got himself in trouble for calling the Browns the nameless gray faces, but that is a Tomlinism. That is something that Tomlin, sells. Bush isn't doing that. Bush is doing the opposite. Tomlin has gone out on the Pivot podcast, talked about him not swimming in comfort or seeking comfort. And when you talk about, I'm still going to be in the NFL, I have this accomplishment of being a top 10 pick, and you can't take that away from me. That is all swimming in comfort, and that is the opposite of what Mike Tomlin is pushing out. So I am extremely concerned when it comes to Devin Bush. Even if he does turn it around and starts to play well, if this type of talk and this type of conversations are still happening, then it comes to a point where, is this man a toxic member of the team? Is he going to cause issues in the locker room? Because, if you want your team to go somewhere special, all 53 members, including the practice squad as well, this will, add those 16 guys, have to buy into the team and where they're going. If you have somebody out there who's not buying into what the Steelers are selling and is looking out for himself and swimming in the comfort of their accomplishments, that's not going to bode well for the team. And so I'm concerned here. We'll see. Maybe he'll change things around. I hope he changes things around. Hopefully he just keeps his mouth shut and just plays football and lets what he does on the field do the talking for him. If he can do something like that and turn it around, who knows? He maybe goes into Jacksonville, has a couple tackles for loss, maybe a sack or a big splash play, an interception or a fumble, forced fumble, something of that nature. That could, that'll do wonders for his public, appearance, so to speak. But right now, this guy is falling in a place with the city, with the fans, where they're not liking him too much. And you can ask Mason Rudolph. It's once the team has turned their back on you, it's very little that you can do, or the city has turned your back on you. Sorry. There's little you can do to change that outcome. I mean, winning's going to help, and winning will fix everything. And Bush is going to be in a position to be a member of the Steelers, that if the Pittsburgh Steelers have a winning season, he's going to have a part in that. And so he still has a chance to fix his image, so to speak, when it comes to the city of Pittsburgh and the fan base. But man, he's really going down the wrong branch, so to speak, and trying to, mend that relationship with the fans and himself. So, that's all I got for Devin Bush. Hopefully some, his actions speak louder than the words that he's saying. And hopefully those actions are in a positive manner for the Pittsburgh Steelers come this Saturday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so now back to the news, I guess, that everybody's kind of wanting to hear. Kenny Pickett has moved up, in my opinion, in the depth chart. Nothing official. The Pittsburgh Steelers haven't put anything out there saying that he's number 2. But like Mike Tomlin has said, he doesn't like to, depth charts are only out there just because he has to, yada, yada, yada. Kenny Pickett started off this week, and Monday he played majority of the reps with the 2s. And then on Tuesday, majority of the reps with the 2s. And then actually took some reps with the 1s. So his trajectory and his timeline to get on the field, in my opinion, is maybe a little bit quicker than I anticipated. I didn't think he was going to get on the field this year. But the fact that he's already maybe moving Mason Rudolph down to the 3rd, that's a good sign. It's good for his trajectory into where, they're going to put him and he's going to be a contributing factor to the team. I'm excited about it. From what I understand, he played fairly well. I still anticipate Mitchell Trubisky being the starter this first preseason game and week 1. I'm starting to think that potentially you might see a Mitch Trubisky playing the first half, Kenny Pickett playing the second half scenario, and Mason Rudolph not really getting a chance to operate this preseason game. Reason being is I still think Mitch is going to be the starting quarterback come week one, and he's still a new quarterback to the team. There's only 3 preseason games. Practices, there's only so many of those. So to get him as much time as possible with the ones, to get him uh, a good opportunity or a good chance to be successful, I think he needs more time with the ones. And I think this preseason game could be that game where they give him more than 2 series. Um, you know, I don't think that even if Kenny Pickett plays significantly well, that he's going to overtake Mitch Trubisky at this point. But we'll see. I've been a big proponent of thinking that Kenny Pickett's going to come in about week 4 if Mitch Trubisky struggles at any point, or if Mitch Trubisky looks average at that point. Basically, the first game is against the AFC defending champions and the AFC North defending champions, Cincinnati Bengals, who have a tough defense. And then the third game is a short week to Cleveland. And after that, you have a mini bye. You have the Jets coming in week 4. I think that might be the opportunity to play Kenny Pickett, to give him the best opportunity, the best chance to succeed early, to build that confidence and build a rhythm and it's just momentum going forward in a positive manner versus something that's negative. He goes out there and stumbles right away. You don't want that momentum train going backwards, so to speak. And so with that being said, I would think it would be in the best benefit for the Pittsburgh Steelers to play Mitchell Trubisky a little bit more, just to give him that cohesiveness and build that relationship with his team and build those connections with the receivers. I do anticipate there being something probably kind of similar on the third week as well. There was some rumors out there. I think it was Andrew Filipponi who had broken that he expects, or there's been some rumors from a former NFL GM that it is possible that Mason Rudolph will be traded to the Detroit Lions by the end of the week. I'm not sure about that. There's a lot of talk about him being traded. And here's the thing about Mason. If he's going to be given the opportunity to start next season wherever he goes, and I'm sure he's going to find a location and or a place to be competing for the starting position. And so if he ends up finding himself as a starter next year, which I think the Pittsburgh Steelers and himself feel that he can do that he's starter capable, maybe not for the Steelers, but maybe for another team, go look at the Detroit Lions or the Carolina Panthers or even the Washington Commanders, where I know they have Corral, they have Howe. But if the Carolina Panthers don't do anything this season, there's a good opportunity that their coach is out and a new coach will be in. Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield may not be guys that the new coach is looking for. It might be a situation for Mason Rudolph to slip through, or there could be an injury, there could be some kind of situation that goes down with it. Give the opportunity for Mason Rudolph to be a starter. And look at what just happened with the Jets. And so if Mason can become a starter or somewhat of a starter and play a few games next season, then that just means the following season, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to get a comp pick. And so for the Pittsburgh Steelers to deal Mason Rudolph this year, they would have to deal him for higher than what they potentially could get in a comp pick. And so that comp pick could go as, 4th, 5th, somewhere around there. And so I think the conversation, because of that, probably lies around the 3rd round for this year. And so there's going to have to be a team that's desperate enough to give up Mason Rudolph for a 3rd round. So there's going to have to be some type of injury or something to that nature to get him, because I don't foresee the Pittsburgh Steelers giving him up for nothing. He's cheap. He's not expensive. The other teams that would be trading for him understand that as well. He's on his last year. He's not, he's signed for this year. It's not like he's complaining or holding out because it's his last year. So another team would see that and understand and say, hey, you know what? This player here is going to play on the contract that he has. It's a prove-it year. If he plays well, then we can pay him. If he doesn't, we'll let him go. And so it could be kind of beneficial, or it could be attractive to other teams. I just don't see a team giving up a 3rd round for Mason Rudolph. Not right now. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers don't give him any playing time this preseason game, then it's going to come down to that last preseason game as far as Mason Rudolph having another opportunity to audition himself to other teams. And he's going to have to play very, very well for somebody to give up a third-round pick for him, or someone's going to have to be very, very desperate. And so, with that being said, Omar Khan came out on Pat Mcafee show, and Pat Mcafee had asked him, was like, hey, given the quarterback room and the trajectory of Kenny Pickett and how well Mitch Trubisky played, is there a possibility that there could be a trade in that quarterback room, alluding to Mason Rudolph being the party to be traded. And so Omar Khan stated there that they have three good quarterbacks and they do not intend on dealing away any of them. Now, with that being said, going out there and saying I do not intend on draft or trading and is different from saying we will not be trading this player. So at least that means to me that they're going to be listening to offers. But like I said, given his contract, he's not a toxic player. He's not one that's going to come out and cause a disruption in the team or in the locker room. He knows the team the best. If there is an injury or somebody goes down or isn't playing well, Mason Rudolph is a good option to have. He doesn't have to learn the team, the offense as well. I mean, even if there's something like a COVID breakout or something like that, where Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky can't play, having a Mason Rudolph on the team who knows the offense is a positive thing. And like I said, he's cheap. He's not costing much to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's not like he's a toxic player. So I don't foresee it happening, but if it does, it's going to be for something we're not expecting, for the Pittsburgh Steelers to get out of Mason Rudolph. In my opinion, that is. Well, guys, one last thing I want to tell you guys before I go, and that is for all you Mason haters, so to speak. The play of the week from Next Gen Stats was the touchdown pass from Mason Rudolph to George Pickens. Now, everybody's talking about the catch, and it was an amazing catch. I'm not going to take anything away from George Pickens' catch, but not many are giving credit to the throw. I understand he may not be the player that the fan base may not want there, but you can't take away that throw. That was an amazing throw. It was a pinpoint accurate throw and put in a position where not only gave the receiver an opportunity to catch the ball and put his feet in bounds, but it was also in the perfect position so that way that the defensive back doesn't make a play on the ball either. And so Next Gen Stats came out with this being the play of the week, and per them, they stated that Mason Rudolph and George Pickens connected on a 26-yard TD. It was a fade route in the end zone. The pass, it only had a 9.9% completion probability, which would have ranked as the sixth most impossible completion in 2021 season. Good throw, good catch. Congratulations. I do hope that whatever happens with Mason Rudolph, that his career goes in more of an upward trajectory. I think he has the ability and the capability of being a starter in the NFL. I don't know if his time with the Pittsburgh Steelers or him being a starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers is an option anymore. But only time will tell. We'll see. It sounds like he's already, going kind of in the wrong direction when it comes to the depth chart order. And so, only time will tell if he ends up making the 53 or if he gets dealt away to a different team or to the Lions, like Andrew Filipponi had announced or had tweeted out as far as a rumor that he may be going to the Detroit Lions by the end of the week. And so that's all I got for you guys today. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I do one of these almost every day. And I also do a weekly live where I answer your all's questions. And this week we'll be also previewing the Saturday night Jacksonville Jaguars versus Pittsburgh Steelers game. You don't want to miss it. So hit that like and subscribe button, ring that notification bell. And with that being said, guys, I'm Daniel J. This is State of the Steelers, and peace.